That's...
I spit on your forgiveness. I'll never return your hollow gestures.
She legit looks like she's giving him like an up yours.
As you wish. Your brother has nowhere to run in any case. However, House Wolffort is a nuisance. A nuisance I cannot expunge without earning Hyzant's ire.
Burb! Large burb!
But it would seem that no longer matters. My hour has arrived. Mine. The time has come to carve my mark into Norzelia.
Is that from fucking Silvio? We've heard precious little from Silvio. That's not a complaint. The less said by Silvio, the better. Oh, man.
Hey, boss. Come take a look at this.
Contender for best music in the game.
The poor soul. Or maybe not so poor, judging by these clothes.
Hey, Pa! Remember what I said about that reward money?
Of course I do. This might just be him.
Pa, take a look at this!
A shiny ring, huh? Is that the royal emblem? This has got to be Prince Roland.
Like, there's absolutely no reason for these two to get as much play as they do.
The corpse is regrettably too damaged to identify, but the royal signet is unmistakable. Aside from Cordelia, there is only one who would wear the royal family's ring.
Serenoa!
There can be no doubt. This is Prince Roland.
Wait, we're not supposed to know that yet.
Excuse me, Your Grace, but about that reward.
Thalas, give them their coin.
Yes, brother.
Thank you kindly for your generosity, Your Grace.
What a waste. Is this truly how the kingdom of Glenbrook meets its end?
House Wolffort are no fools. Their friend was only a liability. They have spared themselves by forsaking the prince. They may have escaped, but there are none who would help them. There is no reason for us to concern ourselves with House Wolffort any longer.
A shame.
No matter which route you take.
Your poor brother, betrayed by his most trusted friend.
No matter which route you take, Gustadolf has to make the same bad decision at the same point. Yeah, so this is like, this game is 100% like, hey, do you want a new Final Fantasy Tactics game?
As peaceably as could be expected.
It just is that.
I trust they shall flourish with your support, Minister Sorsley.
Your story leaves me with one question, Exam. Was it not your forces who took Castle Wolffort, yet you leave them with their freedom?
One so accustomed to the intrigues of politics surely sees the reason why. Their true enemies are the Esfrosti. And the Hierophant would know the true reasons behind Esfrost's recent machinations. In this endeavor, a free ally would suit us better than a beaten subject.
I see. While kept on a short leash, they can be useful guard dogs. But that leash can always be cut if they prove feral.
Just so. An open hand in the right situation can win so much more than a closed fist.
You may be right.
Ah, but before I leave, the Holy One expressed some concern for you.
I love that these two are scheming together like they weren't literally at each other's throats 5 minutes ago. Hi, Riviet.
Have you had any troubles managing the salt as of late?
None at all, naturally.
Splendid.
What do I like about New Game Plus? There's a lot.
My lord,
Let me get through all this and we'll go into it.
Hyzant has arrived. He has offered to send us provisions and funds in light of our situation.
A most welcome offer, to be sure, but why would he extend a helping hand to us now? Could he be after something?
Undoubtedly. There are, regrettably, none so altruistic amongst the Saintly Seven. Seeing as Minister Sorsley has never shown much interest in other nations.
Except for that time he tried to invade us, like, yesterday.
I can only surmise this is a ploy to put House Wolffort in his debt.
As I suspected. But our people and soldiers need all the help they can get.
This is also a good opportunity to fulfill our promise to Minister Exham.
Yeah, this is slightly different.
I assure you, Minister Sorsley won't be the only one with ulterior motives in this exchange. Let us accept his proposal.
Understood. We shall discuss our countermeasures at another time.
So, here's the thing. So, Team Asano made this game. And Team Asano is also known for Octopath Traveler and Bravely Default. So, the way I look at it is like, Team Asano is basically doing, hey, do you like the classic style of RPG that Square Enix hasn't really made very much of lately? Like, Final Fantasy isn't like turn-based combat anymore, but some people still want that. So Bravely Default came out and it was like, hey, do people want like a classic Final Fantasy style game? And that's what Bravely Default was, and that's what Team Asano was doing. And the answer was resoundingly yes. And so they made a couple of those games, and then they're like, okay, how about that but bigger? And that was Octopath Traveler. And then is like, hey, you know what? Do you guys want a spiritual successor to Final Fantasy Tactics? Because we haven't really done one of those in a while either, right? And that's this game. And it's also good. So I kind of see Team Asano as being the team of like, hey, Square Enix hasn't done a game in this style in a while. You guys still want one of these, right? Like a good classic style game? That's kind of like that game from before that you really like? And the answer's always yes.
The news of Prince Roland's death.
So that's what all these are, and they're all good.
Wildfire. With his demise, seemingly comes the end of the Kingdom of Glenbrook. But only days later, a proclamation is made that would bind Esfrost and Glenbrook. Bearer of the royal signet and last heir to the throne of Glenbrook, Cordelia is to ascend as queen. And wed Archduke Gustadolf.
What a cute couple. Said not even one person ever. So, at one point, I'm gonna start skipping cutscenes again.
Cordelia is to wed the Archduke?
I'm gonna start skipping cutscenes again because we're back on a converged path. So what do I like about New Game Plus? Despite the fact that we are now back on like the same path, there's so many different diverging decisions that you can make that change a lot about what you get to see and experience. So for starters, the battles continue to scale up with your level in a way that's really satisfactory. And it doesn't really feel like you're just doing the same fights over and over. Because A, the ones that are the same are scaled up so they still feel fresh and interesting and difficult. B, because you're able to take different routes and see different parts of the story that you didn't see on an initial run, the fights literally are different. They're just like, I'm just getting different new content. It's like I'm playing a different version of the game. It doesn't feel like I'm on New Game Plus. It feels like I'm in a DLC chapter. That being said, I will skip this. And I'm actually kind of shocked. We spent 2 chapters on a completely diverged path under completely different circumstances. Like, everything about what we were doing, where we went, who we talked to, who was our ally, who was an enemy, the conversations we saw, what's said in those conversations, the way people perceive us, all of it changed completely based on like one major decision that we made. And yet, after 2 chapters, they managed to loop that back in onto a converged path. Now, when they say your choices matter, and you end up with a sort of chain of beads storyline, where it's like your choices matter for about a chapter or 2, and then the story ends up right back where it started, that tends to be disappointing because it's like, well, did your choices really matter? Because like, no matter what you do, you're going to end up on the same path. But the way you get there is so much different. And the things that you get to see and experience and the people you talk to are so varied, I don't even mind. I mean, everyone wants the branching path that looks like tree roots, right? Where it's like you start from one spot and then you branch off 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 and then there's 160 endings. But that's not realistic. That's not how that's gonna happen. So like the chain of beads storyline, where you end up on the same main path, but you come at events from different angles.
Heard about the address at the Capitol?
I don't know if you've seen those or not.
I have.
Feel like we have.
I won't forgive them for making Her Highness say such horrible things.
Enough, Huette.
Wait.
But they lied about the king's death. They made it seem like Gustave was justified.
Oh yeah, we saw this.
Griping about it here won't change a thing.
All right, we're fast forwarding. Yeah. No context hat and mask. Oh, goodness. Whew.
How is he doing?
You know, I don't know about FF16. Like, I don't hate the action RPG style, but like, I had a good time with FF15, but I don't remember anything about it other than just being generally disappointed and kind of bored. But I remember, like, I distinctly remember enjoying it when I was playing it. But then, like, I don't know, I guess it ended so flat and so suddenly that I was just like, wow, I feel like I missed half of the story. And I think when the DLC came out later that filled in some of those gaps, like, it came back around and became a more complete storyline, but I didn't touch any of that. So my impression of the game was the launch version, which seemed really slapped together. And for a numbered entry, that's weird. Anyway, Simone's still asleep. It's fine. Oh, hey. Roland reminisces during a training session. Yeah, the fact that they have, like...
Better, my friend. Much better.
Well, first of all, 15 was a mess from the beginning, with multiple different directors, versions, producers, visions, over the course of, like, what, 13 years from the time it was announced? But I mean, you know, they got the dude from 14 on 16, and everyone says 14's really good, and everything I've seen from 16 kind of just looks like 14. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Only because I've had you to train with.
Have you, though?
And how far behind would I be without Sir Maxwell's tutelage? The Dawn Spear himself is my personal mentor. And still you're all but my equal.
It's been a while since we last sparred. It takes time to adapt to a new opponent.
Perhaps so.
I wonder if this is unique to, like, when he comes back. Like, if you don't give him up.
I always enjoy our skirmishes. No better way to clear my head after another quarrel with Father.
I actually have to play FF14 sometime soon.
Must all three nations be part of this
I promised it
venture?
as part of a charity stream.
I've yet to hear a convincing argument as to why.
You do not hear because you do not listen.
Hyzant offers nothing but a sliver of their vast riches. Something we could easily do without. I understand the advantage of involving Esfrost. Their expertise speeds things along immeasurably. But Hyzant, have you at least demanded they lower the taxes on salt? Such a change would be welcomed by our subjects and enrich their daily lives. We cannot concede everything while gaining naught in return. Surely you see this, Father.
It has been decided, and I will hear no more. You presume upon matters you do not comprehend.
I mean, he's out of line, but he's right.
Now, Roland, if there is nothing else, pray leave me be. I have more important matters to attend to.
Yes, Father. If only I'd found the right words. If only I had kept my emotions in check. Perhaps things would have ended differently.
How?
Blaming yourself for past mistakes will lead you nowhere. You must look forward for the opportunities ahead.
That's good advice, but... Roland, you know that Esfrost didn't invade your country because you had an argument with your dad, right? I guess it was about the mine, and that is kind of the linchpin of everything, but... Hell, you don't even know that's why they're here.
Of course. And I trust you'll be at my side come that time.
Yet.
Just as House Wolffort stands with the crown, I stand with you.
I am fortunate to have as loyal a friend as you.
As am I. Ah, enough sentimentality. Raise your spear so I can knock it down.
You're welcome to try, my friend.
Oh boy, there's a lot. Have we seen all this? Is this where Svarog is mad about his son dying?
Lord Svarog, the body of Lord Dragan is...
So my son has finally returned home. I will be there soon.
I hate to skip this because it's right in the feels, but we have seen it. All right, so I'm gonna assume that all the optional scenes in this chapter are things we've seen before because we're back on a point of convergence. So I'm gonna guess that all of this stuff is... Yeah, okay. Yeah. So we're gonna be back on, like, seeing not new stuff. Probably until we make the...
Serenoa, do you have a moment?
Probably until we make the decision. This is the scene where Frederica's like, hey, our whole marriage was like a political gambit to unite Glenbrook and Esfrost, and now we're basically at war, so is there any point to our marriage? And Serenoa's like, I don't know, I still like you. The end. And then he's like, don't worry about your duty. Your home is here with us, and you should live for you.
You said we received a delivery from Minister Sorsley.
He wants us to work for him. There we go. That's what we want to see. It kind of hurts my heart a little bit.
Yet another problem has arisen, as we anticipated. I would like to ask everyone what they think.
Skip. It hurts to skip cutscenes in a game where I like the story, but it's New Game Plus. We've seen it. We know. Transport the illegal salt or travel to Hyzant. Another instance in which we could have visited Esfrost and opted not to. I don't think I need to go to the city streets. Because again, I've done this before, so... There shouldn't be any shinies to pick up, and there shouldn't be any more information to... Oh, I guess we can do this. What do you think of Minister Sorsley as his vassal? He's one of the Saintly Seven and a greater liege than I deserve. I think his benevolent character should be apparent after all the aid he has bestowed upon Wolffort. He's also a man committed to righteousness and will not tolerate any semblance of injustice or betrayal. How about you? Sure. Get warned. Sir Max... Yeah, this guy! Sir Maxwell joined our army the moment we got news of Prince Roland's death. Also, he was already in the army. The timing is too convenient. I can't help but feel there's something else going on here. And then you get three responses, which are various instances of shut the fuck up, don't talk about it. I believe we were like, I think last time we said, please keep these observations to yourself. Or maybe we did this as proof of his resolve. Did I choose option 3? All right, let's tell him to shut the fuck up this time. Like, as directly as we can. Yes, sir, you won't hear another peep out of me on the matter. Okay, yeah, don't talk about it. Just don't talk about it. Cannot imagine you giving such strict orders for no reason, sir. I will not talk about it. Everybody will not talk about it. Thanks. Please continue to not talk about it. I think that's all we can really do. I'm not anticipating any new shinies. I honestly, like, I don't even have a very well-formed opinion on 15. I played it like the month it came out and then stopped thinking about it altogether. All right, what are we doing? We're traveling to Hyzant, and no, we're not traveling to Hyzant. All right, I'm leaving Frederica for last because she scares me, and I don't know how to convince her of things.
We must decide.
Nah, we should just do it. We should just work for him. It'll be fine. Shoutouts to Benedict being on the side of not utility. Regardless of his motives, we owe him a debt, and I would rather not repay kindness with betrayal. Fuck that. There's no guarantee we will succeed in exposing Sorsley, and should we fail, we will make enemies of both House End and the Holy State itself. This feels like the right approach for Benedict. The odds of appealing to those in power in another nation and succeeding are certainly not in our favor. We have enough enemies as it is, it would be wise for us to not earn ourselves any more.
Certainly not.
What else we got? Is it safe to assume you think exposing Minister Sorsley's crimes to be a reckless course of action? Not really, but it's what I gotta do. It is. We haven't sufficient information to take action. Minister Sorsley is no fool. I doubt he would blindly trust us to carry out such an important deal. Shaking Kazan's faith in one of the Saintly Seven will be... We haven't sufficient information. But we have a clue. I think it's too early for us to give up the fight just yet. Just think about it. Just... Source? Just trust me, bro. Just trust me, bro.
Aye, lad.
Eredor does not want to do crimes. I will now convince Eredor to do crimes. House End is giving us some money and provisions, with purporting them not be the hand that feeds. Is wary of our betrayal. Blech. Well, I believe Minister Exarm would help us find Minister Sorsley guilty. We ought to be careful of him. He is no doubt trying to use us as his pawn. Yeah, but so is Sorsley. Man, Nova, I've been watching Wooly Versus play Mass Effect, and they just got to the point where, I'm assuming you're familiar with Mass Effect. Even if you're not, this still hits. They got to the point where they unlocked Liara, right? Who is a scientist. Liara is a scientist who's studying things. And when you're talking to her about her research and how she spent 50 years on uncovering these ancient secrets and whatnot, there is a line that she repeats like 4 times. And it is like the most unscientific, you never want to hear this from anyone studying anything. And it didn't hit at the time, but now hearing a self-proclaimed scientist say, I don't have the evidence, but I know it is true, is no. And she literally says, I don't have the evidence yet, but I know it to be true. And exactly. That is not how any of this works. And in her case, it's like, I've spent 50 years looking for evidence and I don't have it, but I'm still convinced. The exact wrong way to do research. Exactly. And what sucks is she's right. Because of course she is, and this is why nobody trusts science. People think that doing science is just starting at the conclusion and then doing all of your stuff to prove the conclusion true. That's why people think that's how science works. And so anytime we find new information that contradicts things that we thought before, because new evidence comes to light or new methods of study come to light that disprove things that we previously thought true, everyone's like, that's not what I was told. Everything's a lie. I was told the conclusion and it shall not be challenged. Because media thinks that science is pick your conclusion and then study it until you can prove it, and it's the literal opposite. Anyway, we're probably being used as a pawn. Minister Exham is a man of bottomless ambition.
You're onto something.
Bet he wouldn't think twice about using us to see his hated House End fall. Don't like the thought of that, to be honest. If only there's a way House Wolffort could get by alone. I don't want to do crimes, but we gotta do crimes.
Consider this.
Alright, yeah. I know you're really thinking a lot about it, but I still don't want to do crimes. Running away from our problems will avail us nothing. Ill earned though it may be, we need House End's coin. I understand. We must do this to see House Wolffort survive. I ask you bear this burden with us. If our accusations fall on deaf ears, we make an enemy of both House End and the Holy State. The risk is far too great. This seems like it... This feels like it's right for Eridor because he's all about, like... He's all about honor and sacrifice. So you're willing to do whatever it takes for the sake of our house, eh? And as your master at arms, there ain't no way I'm letting you do it alone. I admire your resolve. Need more time to think on it. But I thought about it. Today's going okay. We are back on a converged path, but we're about to split again immediately. This is apparently the decision that I screwed up on my first playthrough that got me not into the true golden ending. So we're doing the other thing this time.
Lord Serenoa.
Both these options suck. I wish we could do neither. Now we gotta do crimes though. We're gonna go trade illicit salt for this guy. Which I feel way less bad about, because even though Sorsley's getting fat off of it, he's also selling it to poor people in Esfrost at a discount. Which is actually a net positive? So, like he's selling it at a lower price because he's dodging the consortium and the salt tax and basically just keeping all the proceeds himself. So he's like skimming off the top, but he's also removing all of the red tape and tariffs and everything and taxes, which in turn makes it cheaper for people in Esfrost who can't afford it. So it's actually a good thing that he's doing, albeit unwittingly. Yeah, one asshole wins, but Hyzant loses and a bunch of regular people win. Exactly. Now, I didn't realize the other side of it because I didn't know where the salt was going. I thought he was just passing it all off as, like, legitimate salt and selling it at the normal price. But a trip to Esfrost showed me that, you know, because of freedom and liberty and not moral, and meritocracy, there's a bunch of rich people, and then there's a bunch of super poor people. Which doesn't sound familiar at all. And the constabulary in Esfrost is like, we gotta crack down on this illicit salt trade. Yeah, I think that if I'd seen where the salt was going, I would have been like, Sorsley's an asshole, but I don't mind helping him deliver salt to poor people at a discount by, like, ducking Hyzant's restrictive salt tax. I don't really... It's not like he's selling drugs. It'd be like... It's literally like somebody is... It's like if someone was getting rich because they were selling, like, discount medicine and cutting the pharmaceutical companies out of the, like, cutting their profit share out of the deal and keeping a smaller share for himself. And then we busted in and was like, hey, look, these doggies doing a bad. Like, had I known the other side of that story, I would have felt very differently about this. If we know the way House N's illicit operations work, we may figure out a way to get the upper hand. There's no harm in gaining his trust, regardless of what unfolds in the future. I don't think there's any getting Sorsley's trust. I think he uses you until he decides he wants a knife in your back. I do whatever it takes to defend my domain, legal or not. I'm prepared to face the consequences should we be caught. This feels like the right answer for Anna. It'll be easier to find the cracks in their defenses from the inside and may give us an opportunity to strike.
Yes.
I like that. What else do you want to know? Will this sully the Wolffort name? Our house's honor is trivial at best. You needn't pay it any mind. Alright, I'm not gonna say that, even if it's kind of true. Let's do everything in our power to keep people alive and house standing. So long as we do, there will be a chance to reclaim our honor.
Perhaps.
Wise words. We mustn't lose our house nor our people. I see now for whom we would bear this burden. It may very well be worth it after all. I see where you stand. All right, like, we're kicking ass on all of these. Like, we are choosing the good decisions. Now it's time to try to convince Frederica, whereupon we will get slapped in the face and she will spit on my foot as she storms off.
Serenoa.
Uh-oh. Okay, I kind of kicked my microphone cord. Are we still good? Can you hear stuff? Is things still auto? I can still hear stuff. Okay. Frederica is absolutely the final boss of this debate. No question. All right, cool. Thank you. Cannot overlook Minister Sorsley's black market dealings, let alone be party to them. I know it means that even more will have to go without salt in the duchy, but still. I believe I should go to high... She didn't even more will have to go without salt in the duchy. That alone is context that I was missing the first time. Why are you opposed to exposing Minister Sorsley's crimes? None of these are the right approach! What I want to say is we get support and we get to help the underprivileged in Esfrost. That's win-win. I don't care that Sorsley's an asshole, and he is an asshole. Objectively evil. I've seen the way he treats the Roselle. It's like it's delighting in cruelty. There's a time and a place, and now is not the time. She will hate that. These all feel like the wrong answers. I feel like she will scowl at each of these. But we need support, and now is not the time. Seem like the worst options. This is like, I would like to do it, but I don't think we can. Which is kind of like giving up, which I feel like she'll also hate, but it seems like the worst, it seems like the least bad.
Surely.
Okay, yeah, okay. Every other time I've gotten the voice clip that was like, oh, is that so? Minister Sorsley's work has greatly benefited the Hierophant for many years. He must have great influence in the Holy State. If we went to them now, desperate as we are and lacking proof, there's a chance they would not believe us. Might we speak a little longer?
In that case...
I admit I'm more than curious as to why you would make us an accomplice to the illicit dealings. I've heard rumors of Minister Exham. Though he looks reliable at first glance, I do not know if he can truly be trusted. I should know Esfrost's true intentions. Might glean something new if we go there. Yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah. I too would like to know what they're scheming, but our destination is enemy territory and our recipient unknown. I fear there is just too much at stake. I actually do know who the recipient is. Hey, she's in. She's in. We did it. Final boss defeated. Let's go. End persuasion.
It is time to cast our votes. Do we follow Sorsley's orders and
Yeah.
approach the scales of conviction with your...
You make a convincing argument, my lord.
All right, that's a sweep. Benedict was the only one on the fence.
I will put my faith in you.
I agree.
Yeah, we are, Chaos. That was... Benedict was the only one who was on the fence. Everyone else was moved.
You won me over.
That's 7-0 somehow for the first time in this New Game Plus playthrough.
We've chosen.
Despite the fact that I have way higher scores and it should be way easier to convince everyone.
The way forward is decided. We have no choice but to follow Sorsley's demands and bring the salt to Esfrost.
All right, I didn't say we have no choice. We clearly had a choice. We literally made a choice. How do you make a choice and then say we have no choice? There was a choice. It's on the other side of the scale. Now we don't have a choice because we made the choice, but... You all right down there?
We have chosen our path. We shall do as Minister Sorsley asks and deliver the salt to Esfrost.
Now that we have a heading, we need only move forward. Let us make haste.
Indeed. No matter how perilous the road ahead may be, we must not falter.
Anna, begin the preparations.
As you wish.
Aside from Serenoa announcing what we're going to actually do, that was almost exactly the same scene. I would like to save my game, yes. Oh boy, Chapter 9. We're already almost like halfway through this.
No good deed is the product of selflessness, and Minister Sorsley's intervention on the Wolffort's behalf is no exception. In exchange for their livelihoods, Serenoa and his entourage must transport Sorsley's illicit salt across their borders. With no pride left to bolster them, they have little choice but to obey. Preparations for the journey are a somber affair.
I mean, when you say it that way, it sounds cool, actually.
The cart's ready, my lord.
As are the disguises. None will suspect us to be aught but common merchants.
Good. Then let us prepare for our departure.
Do crimes.
Just look at what we've been reduced to. Skullduggery and deceit. Whatever honor we had is losing its luster by the day.
Do crimes! Also be gay, yes. reminder. Be gay, do crimes. New?
So, I am queen. What should I do?
This is not new.
You should listen to the Archduke and obey.
But I want to see it again anyway.
Once? An obedient wife? And here I thought the Esfrosti valued freedom.
So long as you must look to others, you do not deserve freedom. Freedom is a privilege, and only those with the strength to see their will realized are deserving of it. It is not given, it is taken. And it is not often taken easily. This I know.
That sounds like something that someone would say having grown up in Esfrost.
I see. Thank you.
Next time you think to ask that question, answer it yourself.
Brother, father, look over me until I find the strength I require.
Speaking of be gay, do crimes, those two.
What is Gustadolf thinking to marry a sniveling brat? No glory is worth her dismal company.
It is unacceptable. He should have let me deal with those obstinate boors in Glenbrook.
Yeah, this is where Cordelia officially decides that she's going to stab Gustadolf herself, and it is indirectly Avlora's idea. Which is the best.
Everyone has boarded the cart, my lord. We await your orders.
We cannot use the main road. This journey will not be an easy one.
I suspect not. Minister Sorsley's instructions were clear. We are to secure a new route through our domain that will not draw unwanted attention.
We've drawn up a rough map. It passes through uncharted wilderness and treacherous mountains, places which no common travelers would dare traverse. My scouts have also reported rumors that the area is inhabited by bandits and beasts alike.
Why are we going that way? Find a different way.
Of the dismal weather on the horizon.
Regardless, we must depart. We have an appointment to keep after all.
Under the cover of rainfall, House Wolffort leads a cart full of salt northward through the treacherous mountain passes where few dare to tread. However, the rain quickly turns from help to hindrance as it batters down on the riders, making the ground treacherous and the path ahead clouded in mist.
No one could have predicted this.
Stops to wait out the weather and determine their next course of action.
That's just there, apparently. That's just a spot we didn't ever see before. Okay.
There's nobody here. It should make a perfect spot for camp.
I've actually seen this in mock battles before.